Well, the other night we highlighted an example of wonderful journalism, and Lord Reeves even gave an award for a journalism award for 2019 to Sky UK news reportage in covering the unfolding impeachment of Donald Trump a few days ago. But now it seems to have blotted its copybook, because now it's got a woman on called Miss Hussein or Miss Insane. I didn't exactly catch her name, but this is an example of the worst possible reportage or commentating on an impeachment process I've ever seen in my 43 years in journalism, and award-winning journalism, and at that, I might add. So watch this, and you be the judge yourself to see if this is fair and balanced reportage of the events that have unfolded. She is clearly a lobbyist for the Democrat Party, and she comes across more like a PR director for Nancy Pelosi. Find out why by watching this.
Let's get more reaction now from Washington. Donald Trump has become the third US president to be impeached today. Joining me now, political journalist Anousheh Hussain. Good afternoon to you, or is it good morning there? I can never quite figure out the time zones.
It's good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. And so President Trump becomes the third US president in history to be impeached. Your initial reaction to this news, which was expected, let's face it.
Yeah. It was expected, but it's nonetheless an incredibly historic day here in Washington, and the energy is palpable. Not only has Donald Trump joined Andrew Jackson and Bill Clinton, and of course President Nixon, as the third president to be impeached in U.S. history, but he is the first American president to be impeached for inviting a foreign influence into U.S. elections.
Donald Trump, his reaction.
Now, I just want to stop it there. She actually said he's the third president to be impeached, and she's named 4 presidents. She threw in Nixon there. Nixon actually resigned before he was actually impeached. So she's not very good with her reporting, and she's not very good with the facts. She's very loose with the facts. Here's more.
A rally ahead of the 2020 presidential election was to say that this is impeachment light. How serious are these charges? Are they impeachment light?
Well, the big question, of course, now is what are the next steps? And we know that the trial is poised to be moved to the Senate, where, of course, the GOP is expected to vote to not impeach Trump. But nonetheless, it is undeniable that Donald Trump will never be able to escape this. He was impeached by a really massive margin, and the stain and the shame.
The massive margin is obviously because it's partisan. The Democrats all voted to impeach him, except for actually three Democrats who have brains. They decided not to, and one of them was Tulsi Gabbard, who actually makes a lot of sense, and she's got integrity out of all the candidates on the Democratic stage. But all the Republicans are behind Trump, and so they bloody well should be, because he's been an outstanding president, and his achievements read like, I don't know, probably 20 pages of achievements if you write them all down in 24 point. But anyway, this is an example of very, very biased reporting by this Miss Insane. And so just understand that you're listening to someone that's absolutely in the pockets of the Democratic Party, and that's Miss Insane.
Follow him throughout the rest of his presidency, which is, whether that's one more month or another 4 years, that's left to be seen. But what is undeniable is that impeachment will follow Trump for the rest of his political career.
Anousheh, I think it's fair to say, whether it be in UK politics or US politics, shame doesn't seem to come into it anymore. And President Trump could win the 2020 election, having been impeached, with all of that hanging over him. Does he actually care? He doesn't seem to.
You know, he doesn't seem to care. And also, I think what's important that this impeachment vote has exposed is that the GOP, the Republicans, have really not only become the party of Trump, but they are in lockstep with the president. And what the Democrats have managed to do is really something incredible, which was not only hold the president accountable, but you know, as most women around the world know, Donald Trump is really a misogynist, sexist pig in many ways, I guess we could say. And it's really important to stay focused on the incredible leadership that has been shown by Pelosi. She has really.
I just have to stop it there. I'm feeling bilious. I'm feeling sick to the pit of my stomach to hear this Miss Insane woman go on any further. I mean, she's carrying on as if she's having an affair with Nancy Pelosi. It's just unbelievable, the vomit coming out of this girl's mouth. The thing is, she's got a hatred, an obvious hatred of Donald Trump. And does Donald Trump care about the impeachment? Not really, because he knows it's not serious, and it isn't serious. Impeachment in this case is very, very flimsy. Now, the impeachments of other presidents was quite significant, but this is more like a slap on the wrist. And the reason it's going to the Senate is because the GOP are obviously going to turn the Bunsen burner back on the accusers. Why can't the GOP, the Republicans, have a crack at the Democrats who are dishing up all this fake accusations, and the anonymous whistleblower still hasn't been found yet? I mean, if you personally have someone attacking you or accusing you of things, wouldn't you like the opportunity to face them and sit down with them and address their allegations in a civil way? Well, the Democrats never did that. But they railroaded the whole process and only gave one witness for the Republican Party in their hearings. And now it's when what's good for the goose should be good for the gander, but no, they don't like that. They don't want to have any accountability at all. See, it's all well and good for them to say, oh, Trump should be accountable, but what about them? They're not accountable at all. Watch this, it gets even worse.
To be a superpower. And, you know, even last week, Trump was attacking Pelosi about her appearance, of course, which is his go-to always to bring down and try to discredit strong women. But none of that seems to have affected Pelosi. And she has managed to keep her caucus completely in lockstep with her. Yesterday, she wore black. She reminded the Democrats that this is a somber day for Americans. It is a sad day for Americans. And when the impeachment vote was announced, her party was about to break into applause, and she actually stopped her caucus from doing so. So I think in the midst of all of this, whether Trump cares or not, it's really amazing to see the strong leadership of a woman like Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, she was speaking.
I'm still sick to the stomach listening to this Miss Insane woman. I can't wait till the end of this segment to just get her off the screen. I mean, I don't know why Sky TV or Sky News has got this woman as an alleged journalist. I'd like to find out where she got her qualifications from, because she's obviously just rooting for the Democrats. She's not an impartial or an objective journalist at all. She hates Trump. All that nonsense about him being a misogynist, the guy's done nothing wrong since he's been in the presidency. He hasn't done anything wrong at all. Historically, okay, his character was a bit, how's your father? But, you know, since he got into the election process and he won the election fairly and squarely, he hasn't set a foot wrong. Every day I've been watching the guy and he hasn't set a foot wrong. Anyway, you do get people who hate, and this person definitely hates Donald Trump, and in fact she hates everyone who says anything remotely positive about him.
She was saying she was praying for the president. And I know a reporter has asked her in the press conference before whether she dislikes Donald Trump, and she essentially said, "Shame on you." And it's interesting, though, isn't it? Because the Senate is being seen as the place where impeachment goes to die. But Nancy Pelosi has made this interesting move. She's refused to say when or whether the articles of impeachment will be sent to the Senate for trial. She said she wants a clearer picture of how the Senate would conduct the process. Now, this is an interesting development. By making this move, what is she trying to do? How is she trying to shore up this impeachment process?
This is a really smart move by Pelosi, and it's also a power move. I think what's really important for viewers, both in America...
Smart move by Pelosi, power move by Pelosi. Oh, she's a superpower, Pelosi. What a lot of crap. Pelosi's holding the weakest hand of cards in the history of the American political system. That's why she's now having second thoughts about what to do next. That is why she's going to be overrun by Trump in a landslide victory in 2020, November 3 next year. And I'll predict now that maybe Nancy Pelosi won't even be around by November next year. I believe maybe she'll be struck down by ill health. I don't want that to happen, but she strikes me as a lady that hits the bottle fairly heavily, and she's got the shakes already. I don't know if she's got the energy required to last another 12 months. Or she'll be replaced as Speaker, and this is really what's going to be interesting, because she only went ahead with this impeachment thing because the far left wanted it. She secretly didn't want it at all. She's only doing it to hang on for grim life to the speakership. So it's Pelosi who's got the weakest hand here, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is water off a duck's back to Donald Trump. He is going to sail through to 2020. The economy is going to remain strong. Everybody's retirement packages are going to be in good shape. There might be some fluctuations up and down along the way, but nothing too drastic, and certainly no recession. In fact, that's the only way that the Democrats could beat Trump, if the economy tanks. That's their only chance, as I see it. So anyway, I've gone on a little bit too long. I'm sorry about that, but this foolish woman, who should never have been allowed on television by Sky News UK, has just upset me so much, because she's so full of hate and one-eyed in favour of Pelosi all the way. And that's not what journalism should be about. It should be like what we showed the other night. They had an excellent reporter on who presented both sides and kept her own views out of it. And she certainly wouldn't have carried on with all that nonsense about Trump being misogynist and all that stuff. I mean, the women's lobby in America are right behind. I mean, why not? If these comments go unchallenged, it's a disgrace to Sky News UK. They should get onto Women for Trump, the organisation in America, and get their comments in response to this horrible woman's accusations about all the things that Donald Trump has allegedly done. Okay, that's enough from me. Let's see her finish off. And the worst example of journalism on Sky News UK
is what exactly impeachment means. A lot of people still think, both inside and outside the U.S., that if a president is impeached, that immediately means that he is removed from office, but it does not. Impeachment is a legal process, and what is really great and important that Pelosi is doing is that she is upholding the Constitution, but also
She's wrong again. She's totally wrong about what she's just said. I just don't want to waste my breath explaining why. You'll find out why.
Process of impeachment is respected. You know, there's only so much she can do with the Senate Republicans taking it seriously or not. Their performance over the past week was very, melodramatic, and it's expected to die in the Senate, as you said. So I think it's important that Pelosi lays out the
melodramatic. They had one of their candidates, the Democratic candidates, on about the second week of Trump's presidency stand up in public and get on a microphone and say, we're going to impeach the MFer. From day one, they've been intending to impeach him, and they've just been filling in the dots to figure out how can we impeach him between then and now. Dreadful.
To hold the president accountable. And the essence of what American law and what the core of American values is supposed to really be about is that no one is above the law. And I think that is what Pelosi is really trying to drive.
No one is above the law, not even the Democrats. And when this goes to the Senate, then the Democrats are going to be accountable. Don't you get it, you moron? That's what Pelosi doesn't want. She's hesitating because embarrassing, factual, sensible questions are going to be asked of the Democrats as to why they set this train in motion, and it's going to bite Biden in the arse. It's all about Biden. It's all about Hunter Biden. And the news organizations that have just been sweeping that Ukrainian thing under the carpet with Hunter Biden, calling it a debunked conspiracy theory, they are lying to you. This has been a miscarriage of justice. This has also been a perversion of it's what is it? What's the term? It's a perversion of perverting the course of justice. That's what it is. The Democrats from day one have been perverting the course of justice with all this skullduggery. Absolutely livid I am.
Okay, Anousheh Hussain, a political journalist out there in Washington, thank you very much for your take on that news today, that Donald Trump has become the third American president to be impeached.
I'm very upset with Sky News UK on this occasion. Last week it was just fantastic reportage and balanced, fair coverage. You know, both sides objective, but tonight that was an abortion of a news report.